pride goeth before the fall, and I, Garm, shall deliver you to hell. How shall your feeble aegis fare against piercing fang and keenest claw?
I was hoping that his name would be like Indigo12 or something. Livestream! Thank you for the gifted subs, my man. Good to see you. Great moment to be here.
You know not whom you face, nor that you stand in his dominion. For I am Barbados, the Dragon King. And by the draconic power that courses through my veins, I shall give you ample cause to rue this day.
I mean, I gotta.
Tremble in fear before the mighty dragon's roar!
I want to watch the action, not watch the buttons. There's some chain. And then I killed Barrett. Okay, so minor complaint. How do I know if I'm getting a good? It doesn't say great or good.
Never have
Kinda
I seen
weird.
a swordsman dance with such grace and skill. The
Tifa's
goddess
clapping.
must have seen fit to grant him a sliver of her strength.
Oh, the sound cue? Okay, I'll have to
His
listen.
dreams of becoming a hero may yet be fulfilled.
I didn't hear a difference.
Now then. Ah, hail and well met, noble Alfred. Though I am but a humble fool,
The way
some
he runs.
talent and divination do I possess. Anything you wish to know, I shall gladly reveal.
Garm's weakness. Your future with Rosa.
What is the future, if not the product of choices past? Each a fork in the road. None can divine the conclusion of every path.
Wow, gee, thanks. That tells me nothing.
And yet, all tales that begin with a chance encounter share the same end. A tearful farewell. Well, that's enough of my blethering. It's time we set the stage anew.
So anyways,
May mine infernal fangs find their mark and taste of your flesh.
so do I need to go quicker, or is there like a timing? Wait a second. You're supposed to go to the line. Those were the goods. Those were the goods. It wasn't these. The mashes, I was supposed to go to the line. Oh, I blew it. Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't think so. I think you have to get to the line but not go over.
A truly remarkable
Because I had exactly
display
2
of
goods, and I had exactly 3 last
enough
time.
to prove his heroism once and for all. He had been unjustly imprisoned and stripped of his wings.
Nevertheless, Alfred was resolved to press onward and reclaim the heavens.
Really? That's a
Now,
odd
without
coincidence.
further ado,
The way he runs.
lend me your ears. Our aspiring heroes and indomitable princess's tale draws to a close. Only one act remains. Parting is indeed such sweet sorrow, but as they say, all good things must come to an end. Though it is our wish that this tale remain with you long after we are gone. So, my friends, will you join us in our conquest of despair? Spectacular! Though our tale be loveless named, we may yet restore hope to this heartbroken world. The Dragon King Varvados fears only true love, and so our hero Alfred will reveal to him its power. He will go to his beloved and proclaim their blessed
So we are gonna have
bond
like a
with
joke kiss still.
Now, stand before your soulmate and let the world know your heart.
Oh, I can't wait to do this again. So it's like so ridiculous because why would like can we do all of this with like different with like Aerith and Yuffie too? Man, I can't wait to see all the differences.
My love.
My love.
Alfred.
Cease this charade! Love is not but an illusion!
Goddess above, let my blade strike true!
Bad. No! What? Oh, I went too far. I don't know, it makes way more sense to just go all the way, but now I'm really curious how that works. Epic. I don't know, I had 8 goods that time? I don't know how it works.
I consign you to the abyss.
Thank you, Alfred, for saving our world.
I think you
and
guys are right.
everyone
I think you just mash it. I think it was just a really strange coincidence before.
What awaits you at journey's end, I wonder? Will the goddess grant you her blessing? Or will the flames of vengeance consume you? All shall be revealed, O puppet of fate. So dance while you still have time. Dance till your frayed strings break, and you can dance no more.
And then we killed our friends. The
Alfred.
end.
Look,
Whoops. I can fix it.
Must you go?
Those I hold dear are waiting.
I don't understand. I cannot. But... please be safe.
Rest assured, I shall return. You needn't promise that you'll wait, for I know that I will find you here.
Credits. Oh, that's right, we're playing another game. I thought that was the whole game. That was beautiful. I'd be happy with the credits right there. Wait, why were they in costume? I thought it was digital. Wait, was Sid sleeping? I missed that. That's great.
Walking city streets with worn cobblestones, listening to people rushing past to rhythms all their own. Life passing me by, not thinking how the years
So is this like,
until I met you.
oh, Vincent's there.
I won't say that it
I'm trying to talk over it to lower the chances of me getting destroyed, but I'm gonna get destroyed anyways.
was
This feels like they wanted to have a song to tour with.
that drew you towards me. Could it be chance till the day that we meet again? Where or when? I wish I could say, but believe, know that you'll find me. Promises to keep, we won't ever need.
Get Yuffie up there. She can sing.
Till the day that we meet again at our place. Just let me believe in the chance that you'll come. Take my hand and never let me go. Take my hand and believe we can be together
Huh. Little air theme in there. Chadley is randomly here. Yeah, sure, yeah.
Wow, that was amazing. I can't wait to start bragging. I'm friends with a famous singer.
Well, maybe next time you could take the stage.
Attention! The Sky Wheel will be closing soon. Please line up and have your ticket ready.
Well, the night's still young, right? What say we check it out?
Thank you for joining us for tonight's
Okay, I have several
special
questions.
performance of Loveless. If you'd like
First
to
of all,
continue the magic this evening,
I was getting like choked up at the end there. There's something so special about all the characters being like on the stage and like the theme playing. Like, man, that really got me. Like, that was so special. And the way that they were like all involved and stuff. And like that moment with Aerith, like having her moment. That was really cool. That whole thing was amazing. Like, that whole thing was just incredible. And then on top of that, it could be slightly different depending on the date, I'm sure, as well. So, like... But it seems like all the digital stuff maybe is the same. Like, I'm not really sure how that would work if you had a different date. I have a feeling that all that digital stuff is just the same, but then the person sitting next to you is... But I don't know, we'll see. We'll see when we do other dates. Don't tell me. I'll just I'll do the other dates and see. But yeah, I'm curious to see what kinds of differences there are. How's it going, Casley? So wow, I had a lot to talk about. So first of all, it's kind of cool how Jessie... So Jessie is the goddess, right? I'm not, like, crazy. She's not just, like, a woman in love. Like, she is the actual goddess, right? In the play? Isn't it kind of funny to think, like, the goddess that Genesis goes on and on about is played by Jessie? Like, there's just something goofy about that. Like... Just, I was thinking about that during that scene. I was like, this is potentially, even when Genesis saw the play, it was Jessie. He was, you know what I mean? Like, he's talking about the real goddess, but the fact that he could have potentially saw Jessie, like, that's funny. Yeah, so she's like Minerva, basically. But, like, playing Minerva, not Minerva. That part where Wedge, Biggs, and Jessie were, like, there was really fascinating for different reasons. For one, they barely knew Aerith, so that was kind of weird. Like, that she would see them and be like, whoa, and they would be there waving at her, and... Because that was when only she was on the stage. But also we're kind of showing, like... They weren't waving at her. She was the only one up there. Who else would they have been... Were they waving at Jessie? I thought they were all looking forward. I'll have to rewatch it. I thought they were all looking forward. They weren't, like, waving at each other, I don't think. But anyway, it's not that big of a deal. But anyways, I like that we're showing like that Aerith has like some power over the live stream too. Like that's really interesting. Whether or not she like knows what she's doing or not. Yeah, I really loved everything about that scene. That was great. Here's my question. My criticism brain going off. Why did that need to be digital? Like the first part with Jesse, obviously. But then after that, I'm kind of curious, like, why did it need to be digital? I understand why, like, they made it digital in, like, the story because, like, now everyone can be the hero and stuff. But, like, why not have, you know, the characters walk in and they're like, yo, you guys won, you guys get to be the, you know what I mean, kind of like the original. And then they literally do it. Because like walking out, he was saying like, you know, wow, we're friends with a real singer and next time you can be on stage. But like it feels kind of oddly separated because did that actually like it did but it didn't, like it's weird, like I can't wrap my head around like what actually happened and what didn't happen. And I'm just curious, like, could we have just done this without it being digital? Could they have just gotten into costume and been on the stage and just did the same thing? I mean, I'm thinking back to like the Cloud dance scene in Remake. That was crazy and had the visual flair, and Cloud was actually physically dancing, and like we didn't need that to be digital. We just, for the sake of the scene, just pretended like Cloud was a great dancer, like just for the goof, you know? So like, we could have done the same here. We could have had, we put on the glasses, we see Jesse, we take off the glasses, and then everyone gets on stage and does the thing. And like, it also makes the Aerith part weird because Aerith got picked to do her song, but then everyone else was just digitally the hero. So like, did everyone, was everyone there the hero and then got to stand on stage with Aerith? Or like, how did that work? What, like, it's just odd. Like there's too many questions. I have too many questions. Whereas if it was just, oh, I'm definitely overthinking it, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the issue. Like, we don't even have to overthink it if we're just physically on the stage and we just do it. And it's just like funny. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just kind of like, why did it need to be digital? You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have to sit here and even think about it if I just, you know. Yeah, like, maybe they're just trying to say, like, oh, but I mean, if they were on stage and there was a bunch of fireworks and stuff going on, like, visual, like, they could have been on stage, but then everything was, like, holograms. And that could have been, like, yeah, I just feel like it's more over complicated than it needs to be, like, because we could have just been on stage doing it, and then it would have made a lot more sense. But either way, it was still, like, we still got what we needed out of the scene. I'm just curious, like, what happens when we go back and talk to Aerith now? Does she know that we saw that? Like how does it even work? When Cloud and Tifa held hands, did they actually hold hands, or was that Cloud in his glasses holding her hand, and in her glasses she didn't hold his hand. Like, what? How real was it? You know, if everyone was on stage with Aerith, then we didn't really have a real moment with Aerith. Everyone had a moment with Aerith. Like, what? You know? Like, I'm confused. I mean, like, Chadley's VR is like VR, but it's not really VR. It's like real. So is this just real? Did everyone else put on a VR simulator, but then they were just sitting in the stands? Why were Sid and Yuffie in the stands if they also had the things on their head? Wouldn't they be on stage? Like, doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I'm confused. Yes, I'm overthinking it, but like, doesn't make any sense. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like it could have been like, why not just have them on stage? Like, why not just do it like the original and they just won it? They were on stage. Maybe that would have made more sense. It was still cool though. Yeah, man, dude, I gotta talk. Dude, Loveless was so awesome. Like, I'm not gonna say I'm like a big fan of opera, but I do have an appreciation for opera. I took some music theory like stuff in college, and I do have like an appreciation for the art of opera. And so having like that opera section and like the dancing and everything together, and then on top of that the play and the performances and everything, like, and then the song at the end, like, that was incredible. I mean, that could have been, like I said, roll the credits. That was the game. Like, that was so good. I loved it. The song was great too. Yeah, I mean, it was just awesome, man, all the way around. That was awesome. We even have like the goofiness with being able to kiss the Dragon King, so we're gonna have to go back and see what that's about, but having that in there is great because it does make it feel a bit more like the original. But this was like, just like I've said with a lot of things in this game, that was a bombastic version of the original. The original had the humor, had the, you know, it was more just like a humor thing. This also has the humor, but made it 10 times bigger. So like, just awesome. Now this is where I would imagine things are really going to change based on the date. I still can't believe Barrett was the Dragon King. That was incredible. By the way, I don't actually remember, which is a good thing, so I guess it wasn't really spoiled for me. But I feel like they showed Barrett as the Dragon King in one of the trailers. Which, is pretty lame. I mean, people were arguing about whether or not the trailers were really that bad or not. I feel like that's pretty bad. But there's another thing that's even worse, but I'm going to talk about that later once we get there. Because I didn't watch all the trailers, but I watched some of them, and I also, like, I watched the State of Play stuff. And there was one thing in particular that I was, like, really frustrated that they spoiled. But I'm not going to say it till we get there. All of them are. All of them are terrible. All the trailers were terrible. Minus maybe, like, the very first one. But yeah, no, there was this whole, like, argument. I was gonna get into this later, but there was this whole argument on, like, when I uploaded my original demo playthrough, I said, like, guys, make sure you don't watch the trailer at the end because it's really spoilery. And I had people in my comments that were like, I'm so tired of these content creators talking about how spoilery stuff is. Just don't watch it. Just turn off your internet. It's dumb. It's stupid. Screw you and your spoilers. I don't even care about spoilers. Spoil the whole game for me. I don't care. It's just a video game. Blah, blah, blah. And just making, like, all these arguments against it. And I was just like, I feel like it's a pretty normal take to say that Square Enix spoils their games too much in the trailers. Like, I feel like they've been doing that for years. I don't even feel like this is an argument at this point. Like, I think we can all agree they show way too much in the trailers. Like, if you don't care about spoilers, that's fine, but you should, even if you don't care about spoilers, you should probably still agree they show too much for the general audience. If you're willing to be unbiased about it, because some people aren't. Some people just want to be biased and be like, spoilers don't care, they can show what they want. But if you're willing to be unbiased about it, I feel like enough people get frustrated with it that we should be able to come up with a reasonable discussion about, hey, they show too much, you know? Like, regardless of how you feel about it, I think it frustrates enough people to where we should all be in agreement that they show too much. But
Are you ready to ride?
and there's one thing in particular I wanted to bring up, but we're not there yet.
You ready for this? A gondola's here. Well, after you.
You first.
Cloud?
Too nice for their own good. Now we got like a string version of her theme. How many Tifa themes are in this game?
Think we can steer with this?
Worth a try.
Here goes.
Side note, I was in one of these with my son once. Not one that was in the air, but it was almost like a teacup ride at Disney where you can control it yourself. I went in one of these with my son. Never again. Do not get in one of these with a 5-year-old where you can control it yourself.
Wow.
Tifa, it's not real. You're gonna kill us.
Well,
Nice save.
What? Wait. Wow, Tifa, smooth. Getting closer without
hey, over there.
sneakily sitting closer to him. Did he just kill a chocobo?
The jockey looks so fun.
Wait, did he just murder that
That's
chocobo?
definitely not what the races are like.
Wait,
I guess I'll just
Arrest
have to
that
see
man.
for myself.
wait, is she gonna get the ride of chocobo? Was that a hint? I want some Tifa racing action. And some Sid racing action.
So, have you talked to Aerith?
Hey, Aerith? I talked to Cloud. He said he remembers Zack. How they were friends 5 years ago. What? Not yet.
Right. Touchy subject, huh? She must still have feelings for Zack.
I think it's a little more complicated than that. Hey, it's kind of weird us being here like this, isn't it?
Is it? I mean, I guess it is. Kinda.
Ever since we left Midgar on this crazy journey, ever since we were kids even, I can't remember a time like this. A time when we were this close. getting ahead of myself again.
Again?
Yeah. Again.
Not one bit.
What was that? Okay. Well, hold on, I'll wait.
We should probably head back to our rooms.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so like I love the way this played out, cuz like I could see you getting like a lot of different emotions out of that. Okay, well chat's just going crazy with spoilers. I don't know what's going on here. How have you guys held it together for this long and now we're like spoiling everything? Okay, so apparently there's a version where they kiss. How is... Oh, probably because there's different levels. Yeah, because there's different, like... Okay. Man, how many there must be, like, an insane amount of... If there's, like, a different version depending on how... Man, I'm like, that's wild. So... Anyways, so like the way that scene played out, we can always talk about the other scenes later, but the way that scene played out was really fascinating because like on the one hand, you could say like that was like a friend zone moment. But on the other hand, like given what we've seen up to this point, I don't even think that like 100% is a friend zone moment. Like, because earlier there was like several moments where like they held hands and Tifa was like, whoa, this is crazy. Cloud's actually holding my hand. This is insane. You know? And like, then afterwards when they got off, they were still like, kind of like, you know, looking away from each other like, wow, that was, you know. So in a way, it was like, yes, it was kind of like a friend zone moment, but at the same time, it was like, even Cloud just reaching out to her was like a big deal to her in her head. So I don't know, like, it's cool because you can get different feelings from it. You can feel like that's a friend zone moment, or you can feel like that was Cloud doing more than we expected. Like, there's a lot of different ways you can see it, so that's really cool. And this is an optional, quote unquote, optional scene. So I feel like it's okay to have that questionable nature to it. And if there is a scene where they kiss, or if there's a scene where, which there is, a scene where Tifa's not even there, you know, all of this falls in that gray zone of like canon versus not canon versus player choice. So that makes it all the more interesting because like we don't know where any of this leads because none of it's really like truly canon. It's just like player choice, what scene you get. But I do feel like no matter what happens, we're kind of building up to that high wind scene in the finale. So if you do get this kind of date with Tifa, it's a great setup for like that later, depending on how we do that. I'm very curious to see what happens in Game 3 with the Highlands scene, because, as you know, if you've watched my Tifa in-depth, the original, or my Cloud in-depth, the original version of that scene was much more raunchy, and they removed it because back then it would have gotten them an M rating, and they didn't want an M rating. So this time around, they could change that scene to be more like the original was supposed to be. Or they could make it like the original is, or they could completely change it. Somebody asked earlier if I think the relationship thing is going to continue, potentially, so that scene changes. That could be, they could continue the relationship bar, and in the third game, depending on who has the highest relationship bar, that could be like a second date scene. Right before the finale, you could like go on that scene with other characters. I personally would not want that. I think that scene being specifically Cloud and Tifa is important. But I also think that the story is so different at this point that if they did choose to change it, it wouldn't be like the end of the world. But me personally, I think that Cloud and Tifa having that moment is important because of the general change of Cloud's personality from Zack Cloud to Cloud over the course of the game. That's like the finale of that moment. You have the beginning, where Cloud is just straight Zack Cloud. Then you have the middle, where Cloud finds out his true personality and becomes Cloud again. And then you have the final moment where he does the thing that Cloud always wanted to do but couldn't. Now he's like true adult Cloud because he's with Tifa. So like, it's a great story, like a character arc for Cloud that I feel like we're missing if like we went on a second date with Yuffie or something and like Tifa was just totally gone. But we'll see. But that is an option. They could do that. They could have a second date scene and just make that scene a second date that's completely optional instead of it being a Cloud Tifa scene. But given how much they've, ramped up Cloud and Tifa's relationship in the main game, I would imagine that scene's still going to be there. Because, like, the Cloud-Tifa relationship is 10 times more important in this game than it was in the previous game, in the original. So, like, I think that scene's still going to be there. I think that scene's going to be even more important. So, but we'll see. What was the other thing I was going to say? I don't remember. Continuing our discussion about how amazing the music is in this game, did you hear the Tifa theme hit the normal notes all the way up to right before the hug, and then there was like a refrain where it was like, it didn't hit the down note, it went up another, and then it stopped, and then the hug happened. That was so perfect. Like, dude, the sound design in this game is unbelievable. It's just out of this world. I would be truly lying to you if I said this wasn't the greatest game I've ever played in terms of sound design. Whether or not it's because there's 19,000 versions of every song, whether or not it's how great it connects to the original game, how it just sounds in this game, the way that they use familiar sound cues, but then throw in a curveball to kind of like raise your emotion levels. It's just incredible. Like it is masterclass of how to sound design, not just how good the music sounds, not just make a soundtrack, but specifically sound design, where we put in the notes, where we put in shifts, where we, have certain songs. Like, it's the greatest I've ever heard. Truly. It's remarkable how good it is.
Full disclosure, didn't know anything about this promised land. But I do now, and seriously, wow, find of the century.
You never know. That intel could be bad.
Our conclusions are based on a long-standing theory. It's safe to assume the temple and the Promised Land are one and the same.
If the Ancient's headed there, then it's gotta be the right place. Good thing we let her go.
I understand the Keystone is to be awarded to the winners of today's special event. How should we proceed?
I have an idea.
I have an idea too. What are we gonna do, said idea?
All right. Let's bring this one home.
Wait, we have to bring our date? That's interesting. I don't know why. That was yesterday. I'm not. All right. Vincent, will you be my Valentine? Don't boo me. I want to make sure I have every element. Because who knows what we're going to fight. I think we do have every element. Wouldn't mind giving you lightning, though. Can I give you fire and ice so you get defended against both? That's kind of nice. But that means, well, you have ice. That should be fine. Man, I can't wait to try this strength to magic Aerith build. I'm just like thinking about it. In the future, it's gonna be wild. Oh, I don't want magnify on. Let's give you magnify time. do that. Because please keep in mind, guys, we're like however many hours away from the finale, from the end. And then we can talk about anything you want to talk about. So, any crazy theory, anything I missed, anything you want to bring up, you can bring it up then. I'll probably just keep it to like story stuff when I finish, because I'll want to go do side quests, and there's going to be some like stuff that, like, for example, the dates, I don't want those spoiled until I actually do them. But in terms of like, you know, everything else, like we'll have a whole discussion about everything then. Your equipment is terrible. Have one of these. All right, let's do it.
Don't miss your chance.
Buster Sword date.
See this once in a lifetime event.
We're only moments away from tonight's main event. Are you ready to rumble, champions?
Oh, I'm ready to rumble.
Excellent. Best of luck to you in the arena.